faire la présentation. Je parle français, mais je pense que ça sera mieux pour vos oreilles si je parle en anglais. Ça sera mieux. Je comprends le français, mais il y a longtemps que je n'ai pas parlé. Originalement, je suis du Canada. C'est pourquoi je parle un petit peu. So thank you, Catherine, for today. And thank you, everyone, for coming here. It's a great pleasure. As Catherine mentioned, it's our first public event in Europe. And it's very appropriate because Catherine Coulan from ZSphere was actually our first partner in the world. So we're doing our first event in Paris, and it's an honor to be here. Also, thank you to Cité de la Musique for hosting us this morning. It's a beautiful venue, and it's a great place to be. So yes, we'd like to present to you, the first presentation will be our vision and roadmap. I think it's important to share with you a little bit about our company. That gives you an idea of where we're coming from, where we're going, and why you should care about working with Zoho. So my presentation will give you a little bit of an overview of the company. Our history. I'd like to talk a little bit about our business model. That means how we're different, where we came from, and how we're a little bit different than perhaps a traditional software model. And also how we're different as a company, our culture, our orientation in the world. So we'll give you some information about more about Zoho. And there'll be some time for questions, so please feel free. At the end of the presentation, it'll be easier to manage in French and English and so on. And Raju will join me for the questions and answers. So my role is I'm Senior Director of Business Development, so I manage our partners worldwide, and I work with strategic partners as well. We have different partnerships. Change the slide. No? It's the other one. Pardon. So next. Suivant. So yes, first a little bit about the company. So Zoho has a fairly long and interesting history. We've been a company since 1996. Originally, Zoho did not exist. We had another name. Our company was called AdventNet. We sold software primarily to the telecom market. We've had a very interesting history. So the company started with 6 people in 1996, and we've grown substantially over the years. I'll tell you a little bit more. Next, please. So we have today we have about 1,700 personnes. We're diversified into basically 3 divisions, primarily along the product line. So Zoho.com is the newest division. We have another division called Manage Engine, which is focused on IT management software. So we provide software to gérer les réseaux, all your applications, all of your equipment, routers, switches, etc. So more traditional IT software. Zoho Manage Engine division is very successful. We have about more than 75,000 customers worldwide. And it's very profitable, and it's a growing division. In fact, Zoho Manage Engine was the division that funded Zoho.com in the beginning, and it's allowed us to invest in the company you know today as Zoho Corporation, Zoho.com. We also have, like I said earlier, many partners around the world, like ZSphere. We have an established network of consultants that provide technical support, implementation, training. We provide those in local languages, so it's an advantage for everyone. Zoho itself has grown substantially, 8 million users. We started out in 2005. We had 100,000 users in 1 year. We had 3 products. We started out with, we were actually known for Zoho Office, and we were the first company in the world to release a complete Office suite like Microsoft. Before Google, there were maybe 1 or 2 other vendors that had a word processor, a spreadsheet, but we were the first to bring together the 3 and release them as an Office suite. That's how we got started. It was really an experiment, because what happened was in 2002 there was a downturn in the market. The economy for telecom went bad, and but we had all these people, we had all these engineers, developers, and we took a chance of investing in a new direction, which became today the cloud computing. Back then it was Web 2.0. You know, we had different generations of this new modern way of delivering software. So we started in 2005. We built 3 or 4 different applications, and that validated the demand, and that's how we started to invest in other products like CRM, etc. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our model, our way of doing business. But first, let me take you back to before the internet. So before we had the internet, you had traditional software being delivered. Companies like Oracle or SAP that had very large teams. There was no ability to find companies on the internet. There was no search. So you had large sales teams to try and find customers. And the most important thing was, back then, if you were a large company, you would buy an Oracle database, and maybe inside your company you would have 3 or 4 different versions, many operating systems. And so the software companies had large engineering teams to support these multiple versions. And at the same time, they had to grow their sales team to find more customers. So the model became very much about selling a product to you. Whereas today, when you look at the internet model, many things changed. So you had applications like email became popular, and people started to work online, and it changed a lot of things. For example, we had companies like so the idea was that you had about in the old model you had to have about 80% of your people were engineers, or were sales and marketing. 20% were in engineering and development. And with the internet model, because software was delivered over the web, you're able to make a single release of your software, and all your customers were able to get the change at the same time. So no more Solaris, no more Mac operating system, no more Windows. It became more about internet browsers. Zoho, for example, when we have a Google Apps integration with Zoho, and our small team can do a change one time, and everyone gets the change at the same time. So it became much more efficient and much more scalable. So you notice that in this image, the amount of engineers required is less. The amount of salespeople is less. You can also deliver sales and support over the internet, so it became much more efficient. People can respond to customer support questions remotely via chat or doing webinars, responding via email. Everything became more efficient. So if you look at companies like Salesforce.com, they embrace this technology to deliver you software, yet they maintain the same large teams of sales and marketing. That means is if 80% of their costs are in sales and marketing, that means for you, the customer, you're actually paying them to sell to you. So the idea is that you're buying software you're buying good software, but you're paying a lot of money for them to sell that to you. Next slide. So with Zoho, we took a different approach. Our approach was to fully embrace the internet. And what that means is we are able to not have huge teams of sales and marketing people. Our position is that we have partners all over the world, so our partners become like an extended team. It means that you as a customer can come and choose to use our products. We don't sell to you. We don't have to have many feet on the street. So the whole distribution model, the whole way of communicating about the software changes with our approach. Yet with Zoho, we maintain a very large team of developers and engineers. I'm just going to go back a little bit to the previous slide I wanted to mention. So, no, it's okay. Of the 1,700 employees that we have, more than 80% of those people are software engineers. So that means that 80% of our investment goes to the products and development, whether it's upgrades or updates or new applications. Whereas only 20% or less of our spend, or our cost of doing business, is in sales and marketing. And that's a direct value to our customers. So imagine if you're buying software that costs €100, but you're spending €80 for someone to sell it to you. Another way of looking at it is, why should you pay someone to sell to you? Why not discover the software and use it? And the one way that we enable you to do that, makes it easy for you to do that, is that we have free versions of all of our applications. So you can use Zoho for free with no obligation. And we call that, we look at the distinction, the business model distinction, we call that a pull versus a push model. So in the old way, it's pushing to you. In the new way, it's you come and discover the software on your own. Right. So again, back to the value, we're able to more efficiently utilize the lower cost of sales and marketing and invest in the engineering. And the result is they actually get a really good free product. And of course, as you go into the paying versions of our products, our applications, you get more and more value. Next slide. Yes. So one other detail is you'll notice that also with the free versions, we don't have any advertising. Zoho never advertises We never track user behavior. We never try and sell them other applications from other providers, so it's advertising free. And that also is something unique to this whole pull model, this whole pull business model. And we also think that having a good free version of our applications is good for business, because many customers talk to other customers, and so on and so forth. So our marketing is actually free, because many people end up having very positive things and very positive experiences with our application suite and with the company, and they spread the word. So, didn't mention it earlier, but so now we're getting close to more than 200,000 new users every month. Before it was, last year it was about 150,000, and this should expand to about 250,000 users every month before the end of this year. So imagine trying to scale this in terms of sales and marketing in the old model. You look at it and you also look at it as a cumulative problem. So not only are you getting maybe 8,000 new users every day, but your salespeople have to actually follow up and talk to people that they didn't reach the day before. So 8,000 users from yesterday, 8,000 users from last week, and this problem compounds itself. And you can't really scale in the traditional sales and marketing model. But in this model you can, because you have a much more efficient dynamic as far as using the tools, social networking tools, etc., web technologies, chat, and so on. It's much more efficient as far as managing customer demand. And that's something that we're actively taking advantage of. Next slide. So yeah, what this means is that the cost of selling to you is actually spread out over so many users. So everything is delivered to you from a central data center. Our sales and marketing teams are small. Our engineering team is large, and it means that we're able to give you, again, a good free product with the idea that some of you will become paying customers. Next slide. But in order to provide a really good free product, you have to run a tight ship. That means you have to be very efficient on all levels of your organization. So if you look at the way Zoho manages its business, our data center operations, for example, we don't have Oracle, we don't have Microsoft. We use open source components. Because we have a large engineering team, we build our own tools. Because we have a legacy from IT management software, from ManageEngine, we actually are able to leverage our own technology to run an efficient data center. If we look at some of our competitors, for example, they are using existing technologies like Oracle and other databases, SAP, to run their operations, and that's costly. And that's why you see for Salesforce, for example, the cost of a license can be 4 or 5 times more expensive than Zoho, because they have to pass that cost on because their operations is costly. But it's not just at the data center level. You look at the engineering. We have a model where we call it it's called the Amazon pizza rule. So we look at it sort of like if you buy 2 large pizzas and it's not enough to feed your team is probably too large. So that's a general rule that we use. And this also comes back to our management style. We have we don't have a very big hierarchy. There's not a lot of managers and managers of managers. We have a lot of trust in our employees, and most of our product managers have been with the company for 10 years and more. So it comes down to the experience and being able to work within the culture that we've built over the years. Myself, I've been with Zoho for nearly 10 years, and it's very effective and efficient. The way we run our engineering groups is that each product team is like a separate company in a way. The only mandate that they have is to be the best in their product category. What does that mean? It means that the product manager is responsible for knowing the market, for knowing the competition, for understanding the features, for delivering the product to the market, and tracking sales. So each product manager is also like a sales manager. And that in itself creates a very efficient ship. And in terms of our sales and marketing, so we don't have a global sales force. We rely on partners, as I mentioned. We rely on an inside sales team that helps our customers buy the software. We spend money on marketing, of course, but our vision is not to open offices in every city, in every major city in the world. Because again, that brings us back to the old model. You'll hire salespeople, it's expensive. You hire marketing people, it's very expensive. So we have seen in the last 6 or 7 years that our way of doing this pull versus push, our way of using the tools of the internet, social marketing, etc., which we'll talk about a little later on in our presentations, is actually very efficient. And again, it comes back to we're able to produce more software, more products, and more development. You look at support as well, customer support. So we leverage, as I mentioned before, we leverage email, live chat, webinars, forums, Twitter. So you have to look at efficiency at every level of the company. Yeah, there's also other factors that come into play. For example, we don't have an office in downtown San Francisco overlooking the bay. Very expensive real estate. We have offices in the suburbs, and it's another level of efficiency. And the thing that's really interesting about running a business that's efficient is you get more efficient over time. So we learned where to cut costs, how to apply what we've learned, increasing, and technologies have also helped. Speeds, the cost of hardware, all that is really contributing to us validating this low-cost business model, engineering-centric, engineering-driven. And it also helps when you have multiple applications spread out over your customer base. So if you look at the average license fee, $12 a month or $20 a month is not a lot of money. But if you have a customer that's buying 2 or 3 applications, the average license fee goes up because they're buying more. And that's again another validation of this business model. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, the 2 aspects of our uniqueness, of our vision is, number 1, the products and the engineering focus. And the other aspect is the culture, our actual corporate culture. What is our corporate culture? Well, for one, next slide please. So when we look at our corporate culture, we sort of look at it, the philosophy from the employee workspace, and then the second aspect is the technology or the product. It's common knowledge, and people have written about it, that when employees feel good about their job, the company makes more money. How do our employees feel good about their jobs? Well, for one, we trust our people. We invest in the people we have. we're not a typical American company. In fact, most of our people are in India. And the culture is very much about product development, very much about solving technology challenges. It's not so much about making money, and which is also very important. And we are very profitable. We've always been very profitable, and it's growing every year. The last 17 years, the company's grown on average 35%, and Zoho division itself, 100 to 150% growth. It's huge. But our focus is not just on making money. Our focus is on staying independent, private, and having a very long-term, almost decades view of the business world. So our employees feel this. Our people are happy to be with a company that is also interested in their needs. Zoho has, for example, we have a university. We have our own Zoho University. We have 10 to 15 full-time faculty, and we train students that come out of high school that otherwise would not have, not be able to afford to go to higher education. We teach them programming, we teach them technology, we pay them, and later we hire them, and they become part of the Zoho family. And that's a big part of our competitive advantage in the engineering space, is that we believe in, we're not so concerned about your degree, whether you have an MBA, whether you went to Silicon Valley universities, or, you know, it's not so important. What's important is you have potential. And our CEO and founder, Sridhar Vembu, fiercely believes in this model. And so far it's been proven correct. So that's a little bit about the culture, creating products and happy employees. And on the other side, the product vision is really this engineering culture that I've spoken about several times. It's the driving force, it's the DNA of our organization. If our products suck, we don't have anything. And it's a very simple phrase, but it's truly, it truly is what's being tested in the marketplace. It's all about the products. It's all about delivering value to the customers. And it's also all about solving different challenges on the technology side. And I can tell you, I've personally worked in many corporations in my 25-year career. This is the first company that I ever worked for that is different in the way that we don't have to answer to private investors. We don't have to answer to equity funds. We believe in the long term, and so it's not about making cash and moving on to the next project, leaving your employees behind you. It's something that I've experienced personally in my own career, and it resonates very well for me. So we move on. Go back one slide, yeah. So in this slide, I just wanted to reiterate how the company's evolved. I mean, Zoho was originally almost an accident. We had to reinvent ourselves when there was a telecom downturn. And we had all these engineers, and we didn't want to fire them. So we created a new division, and we started to experiment with delivering software online. And Zoho Writer, the word processor application, was our first product online. And it solved a fundamental technology question about being able to manage unstructured data in the context of a database and managing word processing, a very big technical challenge. In the past 6 years, Zoho Writer has become part of the Zoho Docs family, and Zoho Docs is now a very solid platform for document creation, editing, so on. Next. This brings us to talking about the products, this brings us to our next vision. And we talk about the business operating system. So what is a business operating system? What is that? It really is the things that you need to run your business. It's the fabric of what your business does to operate from a software point of view. You look at various applications, sales, marketing, manufacturing, whatever line of business you are, you have these interrelated series of operations that become your operating system for your business. And in the context of technology, we look at this new paradigm where these operations run in the cloud and they interact with each other. And it's possible because of changes in the technology and changes in delivery, changes in the way we're able to deliver software to you. Even changes in the level of the technologies for writing software, making software development. All the coding, all the web browsing, all that's enabled us to put together what we're calling a business operating system. So if you look at this slide, the bottom section is really what everyone uses in a company. Email, documents, communications, and so on, project management. And the upper part represents the various divisions in the company. Sales and marketing, support, accounting, etc. And this becomes your operating area. And this is what we're trying to accomplish with Zoho. We're trying to bring together a whole bunch of applications that talk together and that form the basis for managing your business in the cloud. We become like an extended IT department. And why are we able to do this? We're able to do this, again, coming back to our engineering culture and our ability to focus on giving more into the products. Sridhar likes to say, we're in this business to run a business, not to run away from a business. And that is the way we are, that's the way we continue to grow and invest in Zoho. So that's really it for the culture, the technology, and so on. I wanted to just give you that as a way of introduction. I think in the next presentations, Raju is going to go deeper into what's inside the products, how the products work together seamlessly, so you'll be able to see the actual products working together and how they fit together. So with this, I'll end the first presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we'll open it up to questions if you have any.